97 WMDX. The John and Gordy Family Show, and Gordy is back in the studio again.
Good morning.
Very quick recovery. Congratulations. What an amazing physical form that you're in to be able to just come back after major surgery.
Oh, no, you didn't hear it. It got canceled at the last second.
Oh, it got canceled?
Right at the last second.
Oh.
I'll tell you more in a minute.
All right.
Here.
All right.
Let's get things going.
You're...
We'll get sidetracked right away.
I know. Well, really?
All right. Well, we can talk about it.
No, that never happens. We never get sidetracked right away.
Well, let's talk about it.
And no, we always try to avoid that. So let's try to avoid it this time because everybody wants to know immediately what the weather's going to be like today.
Exactly. It's 57 degrees currently. We have partly cloudy skies, and let's see what the high temperature will be today. Let's get out the lottery ball machine and see what we've got.
Let's take out our balls.
Yep, let's take out the balls and look for the first number coming up the shaft there. 6 is the first number.
Balls have never been more popular.
7 is the second ball. 67 for a high today, so a little bit on the cool side. We'll see more clouds moving in through the day. Maybe a couple of sprinkles.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. That sounds good.
Check in with Brittany Merlot in a little while.
All right. Yeah, that sounds great, too.
So I was all psyched up. Yesterday was the big operation
you're ready to go.
Yeah, I've been planning this, for months. Mm-hmm. I've been, getting exams and all these all the prep work involved.
You were gung-ho to get this operation.
Well, I don't know about that, but... I got there at 8:15 as scheduled.
Yeah.
Sitting there for 3 hours while they're doing prep work and, and really mostly just waiting. But they had me hooked up to monitors and everything. Everything's looking good. Finally, the time arrives. They're going to wheel me down to the operation.
The thing is, they IV'd you as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just like in the movies, they roll you into the operation room. I'm like, here we go. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Take me off the gurney. I have to move over to the operating table. There's nurses all around, doctors in there, my surgeons in there.
Must have been thrilling.
It was thrilling. Yeah, it was thrilling until the anesthesiologist they put the mask on me. First for oxygen. They give you oxygen first. They want to pump your oxygen level up. So I'm sitting there with the oxygen on, and now they're getting ready to turn the gas on. Turn on the whatever they do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the anesthesiologist says, AFib.
Oh, wow.
Everybody just stops.
Yeah.
And they're watching the monitor and going, wow, okay. Because my heart rate was like 105, 110. Anything above 100 is considered AFib if the rhythm of the heart also is off, a little flaky.
Yeah.
Not rhythmic, but
Well,
arrhythmic.
I was going to say 100. Is that the top number or the?
That's the bottom.
The bottom number. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's the heart. It's the heartbeat number.
Yep, that's the bottom one.
Yeah, everything else was looking good. Most of the blood pressure, everything was fine, but that heart rate never dropped below 100 there for a few minutes, and then I could tell. Okay, here we go, and the anesthesiologist and the surgeon walk over to the corner, and now they got their backs to everybody, and they're talking.
Do we kill them?
And then they said, "Well, Mr. Young, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wheel you down to the cardiology. We're going to wait a little while and see if this, is just, see if this settles down." And then they had another conference, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, well, we're not doing this operation."
Yeah.
Today. They finally told me that. Then it took another hour and a half for the cardiologist.
Oh my God!
To get there because there's a doctor shortage. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
This is a visiting cardiologist because they don't have enough cardiologists. They only have like 1 or 2 on staff.
Sounds real official when you say visiting cardiologist, but the guy's in the area. Drove in.
He's from New Orleans. I'm just here for a couple of weeks. Let's check you out here. He finally came in.
I hear you have nice quick trips up there.
Right. So he says, here's what you're going to do. You're going to stop. How much coffee you drink? Well, that's too much. Whatever you're drinking, 1 cup, maybe 2. No alcohol for a couple of months.
Okay.
2 or 3 months. And then some other things too. In fact, it's atrial fibrillation.
Yeah.
We don't have the computer set up, but
it's
atrial
fibrillation. Yeah.
Fibrillation.
Yeah, and it's an impulse that allows a certain amount of blood flow into your heart.
Right. And they said the upper chambers were not flowing the way they should into the bottom chambers and pumping
as
things
strongly
along.
as the
Right.
bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an electrical thing,
Yeah.
as we were talking about just before the show. But and sometimes they can put you on blood thinners. Blood thinners are really expensive. They started discussing. All these doctors came in. There were 4 or 5 doctors in there. My surgeon, the cardiologist, his assistant doctor, because he's a visiting doctor, so he couldn't write prescriptions. So all this discussion about where the prescription should be written, who's going to write the prescription, where it's going to go.
Well, I can see why there's a
All this-
doctor shortage. They're all in your operating room.
I guess they were, because it was quite a crowd in there. Yeah, but they finally decided, get on these blood thinners. And they were shopping around for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, like, Costco's got a coupon with the,
That's where I live.
I know. Oh, by the way, so I went there last night and I signed up to Costco. That lady, Kathleen, she was there.
Oh.
She said, John Peterson just left here 10 minutes ago.
Yes, really?
Yes.
You came in after me?
I
was
did.
really late in there. I thought you'd probably already been there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I signed up. And, there's Motrin and there's another one. And then they settled on, what was it? Cial, not Cial. That's a different thing. Anyway, whatever they settled on, there's like a coupon for free, like 1 month of free.
Oh.
But the Motrin was like $750 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and $550 a month for the next one down, or $600. I'm like, gee whiz.
You can buy that over the counter, can't you, Motrin?
No, I think it's something
super strength.
I don't
Super
know.
something.
Anyway,
You have to have gold chips in it.
I got to wait a couple of months till they figure out the atrial
Yeah.
fibrillation, the AFib. And,
What to do about it?
Yeah, no more alcohol,
Yeah.
no more coffee. That's all right. I mean, I can have 1 or 2 cups a day. He said that's it.
Why can't why didn't you just ask him, can't I drink? Can I have coffee until you make a decision?
Can I keep drinking heavily till you guys figure this out? Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm going to celebrate until, you guys tell me when I have to cut back.
So I apologize to all the, guest hosts that you had lined up all this week. I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby. So, just
well, Rocker's
take
not
a
going to
seat.
be happy.
Well, he can still come in. Why not?
Well, yeah.
Hang out. So I guess I'm happy that they found it before the operation started, because then it could have been really awful.
Yeah.
If it
it's
happened
good
in the
that they
middle of the
stopped.
operation.
Yeah.
So, because it can lead to a stroke pretty easily. You can throw a blood clot or two if you have AFib.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a folding chair, a couple of them. We should go out in front of the station here and just sit around and talk about our health problems. All the seniors, they love talking about their
Oh
health.
my God, you can't. Yeah,
Can't shut us up.
Nope, that's the way it is. But anyway, enough about me. How about the National Day calendar, John? Did you guys do? Oh,
we did that.
That's right. I was here yesterday.
Yeah, that was not good.
But the home setup worked real good, so
It did.
probably use that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
I mean, do you want to do the National Day calendar?
Don't you? Do you have something else you would rather do?
No.
Okay. Well, let's
no
get to
surprises here.
hit the music.
No
Sam.
big
Let's
welcome
do
backs.
this. Save the welcome back. By the way, I like the picture behind me there. That's a nice
Yeah,
bandage.
anybody
over
notice that? Bandaged on his ear.
here. Yeah. Is it or is it not National Tavern Style Pizza Day? Is it or is it not National Make a Dog's Day? How about National Color Day or National Timepiece Day? National Nut Day. Which one of those does not belong?
Not
to?
National Nut Day. I know that.
Well, you're wrong
generic.
today. You are wrong,
Really?
wrong. It is National Nut Day. Sam, do you have a guess?
It's not Timepiece Day.
You are correct, sir. You win a shiny new
All
dime
right.
added to your account.
So how did he know that?
I don't know.
So how did you know
How
that?
did you know?
Because it didn't seem familiar. I looked at the list
'Cause
like
he
half an
looks at
hour
the
ago.
list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it right now. I looked at it a while ago.
Yeah.
So.
It's just total recall. That's fine. It's fine. I'm going to mount a spoon up on my monitor just to.
Oh, you should
You're
talk
just
about
fascinated by that idea, aren't you?
that. Tell everybody what you're talking about.
Well, my kids, they live in the basement and they're always gaming. And sometimes we walk in, and my youngest son, Brett, has his back to the entry.
right.
to his office, and every once in a while we, poke our heads in and say, "Hey, supper time! Come on up, eat something, anything," and they're always surprised. So I'm sure that they always have to kind of worry about us accidentally poking our heads in because they might be looking at some really strong porn, which I recommend.
How old are they again?
22 and 25.
Okay.
So anyway, we're looking on the internet this morning on X, and somebody had posted a picture of what their teenager did, and they taped a shiny spoon to the monitor, with the round side facing them, so they could see
It's like a rear view
behind
mirror.
them. Yeah,
Like
it's a rear view mirror is what they're doing.
That's pretty good.
It's a great idea.
It is,
It really
really.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So you should suggest that to the boys, and then they don't have to worry about anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll go out and I'll go to the auto shop and get a little.
Yeah, you got a little side mirror.
Concave mirror,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the deal. Okay, let's check out the National Day Count. Oh yeah, it's National Tavern Style Pizza Day. I don't think we need any more explanation than that. Do we?
You and I, we went to a tavern style pizza
When was that?
a long time ago in Sauk. Well, not that long ago, maybe 5-6 months ago. We met there and discussed a whole bunch of
I
stuff.
don't recall that.
Wow, really? Well, it was,
What pizza?
well, it wasn't a pizza place. It was a bar
Yeah.
where they have like trivia in the back room, and we were in the front room. And,
Oh, the Village Pub.
yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a nice little place.
Well,
Sauk,
we had
yeah.
the
Yeah.
pizza.
That's right. You're right.
Pizza. Yeah.
Now I recall that. Okay.
Which I objected to. I wanted something more fancy.
Well, okay.
All right.
It's National Make a Dog's Day. You have dogs. Well, you have a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? What
It's
day is
National
it today?
Make a Dog's Day. That's be extra nice to your dog today.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
Whatever you do,
All right.
just be extra.
Like we're not always loving and caring
Oh, you
for our
are.
little fluffy
You're
pet.
You're cracking. And it's National Nut Day. National Nuts. Eat some nuts today. I can't take nuts. What?
So Catherine's little
Do we kill
greeting back for you is, do we kill him?
Well, thank you.
You said that. Those are your words.
Oh.
About what the
it's my
the
words?
You said that
doctors were
today?
thinking.
Did you already say that today?
I think I said that
I must have
already.
missed that, but my hearing's not that good anymore. 18 minutes past the hour. We'll continue with the National Day calendar and history coming up on the John and Gordy Show.
Yeah, well, like when it was some
tune, man.
I know.
I like this.
Stones, one of their early hits. It's National Color Day, John.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Imagine a world without color. Without color, we would be nearly blind. Doctors check for health through the color of a patient's skin. On a late, crisp autumn morning, sparkling frost and leaves change from green to vermilion, signaling a change of the seasons.
Yeah, stop there. You know,
What?
Please.
Shut up.
This
Okay.
is killing me. Now, actually, I thought of this the other day, and we're talking about the odd way the color is now on Trump's face.
Oh.
I mean, it's like pancaked on, and it has edges. It's like he dips his face into something and just pulls it up. And it's like he's wearing a pancake on his face. And you can see the edges, where the color ends. And I'm wondering if it's not covering up the color that could be a serious color, showing some kind of medical problem.
Oh, that, you're... Yeah, well, you're...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought.
It could be something like that.
See, we laugh at the color, but he's doing it to cover up a health problem.
You think so? It could be.
Could be.
There's a lot of edging to it. Edges. Someday we're going to find out what his makeup artist was all about. What are you looking at? What's up? You're on two cameras
shots
at once. Okay. You're like a parakeet with a mirror in the cage. You just can't stop looking at yourself. Yeah, you move the cameras around a little bit here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks good.
Anyway, it's National Color Day, so enjoy the colors.
All right. Colors of fall.
Sam, do you have any history items of note?
Oh
you want
boy,
to share
do
with
I!
us?
I've got a couple good things.
Well, could you hurry because we've got Mark up. Oh, did we lose Mark?
Well, he had a comment about all of your health stuff. I forget his exact quote.
Okay.
But it was something along the lines of, "There is only one God. That God is death, and that God is not showing His face today," or something like that.
Oh wow!
So
that's
you're
heavy.
still alive today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Well, yeah. And
I'm sorry if I'm butchering that quote, Mark, but
Mark, thanks for that comment. I think
it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to help you get through.
You'll never believe this, but I did have a premonition that this operation there was something going to not happen. That something was going to go wrong, or something was.
Well, this
not
is the best way to go wrong.
Well, yeah,
a delay.
That they delayed
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Because of the AFib. Okay, history. Let's get to it.
All right.
Come on.
Let's see. Today in 1797 was the very first successful, I'll note, parachute jump.
What year was that?
1797.
I wonder what happened in 1796.
We should hear about the last bad parachute jump.
Let's try it this way, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, somebody's got to be the first, right?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah. What else?
Today,
That's one of the more dangerous inventions ever.
Yeah.
parachute.
God.
Oh, boy. Today in 1907, Barnum and Bailey and the Ringling Brothers circuses, they combined together to form not only the greatest show on earth, but the largest one.
Okay. Yeah.
Did either of you ever go and see a traveling circus when you were kids? Were they still a thing?
They were still a thing.
Yeah.
When we were kids.
I did go to. It was a nightmare. My parents wanted me to go. I think we went to like 2 or 3 of them.
Really?
And they're just really sad.
Yeah. Because
they weren't fun and
no, they weren't fun. No. I don't know why people thought a circus would be fun.
Once upon a time, maybe they were. At least they seemed.
They're scary as hell.
Novelty.
Yeah, the clowns are scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were out of control. They were more. They were kind of. They'd run out in the audience, and grab kids. And
That's right.
Jeez.
Bring them against their will and
Wow.
get them on. In the 3 rings. There.
Yeah, you wanted to sit farther back in
I've
the
never
stands.
understood people's fear of clowns, but if one did that to me, I'd probably be afraid of it too.
Well, I know Killer Clowns from Outer Space was not released yet, but after seeing that, why kids would be afraid of clowns.
Oh.
But you remember my clown dream? Remember, I had a dream of clowns on stilts.
That's right.
Tell us.
What were they
that?
doing? I remember that happening.
They were just walking around, but the standout in my dream was the clouds that looked like erasers.
What?
pink erasers.
What did
yeah.
you drink the night before?
I don't know,
Oh,
man,
boy.
but I
What do you mean?
yeah,
what do you mean they
it's
look
still
like
in my head. I still
erasers?
remember it.
Like what kind of
like
erasers?
like pink paper erasers?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Cut out in that way, that shape
in
that
like
they're in.
yeah.
I don't know what shape
The
that is.
slanted
but
rectangle
yeah,
or whatever?
Slanted, yep.
That's very strange.
And those were the clouds.
Oh.
Yikes! I know. That's before bubblegum music, cotton candy castles, and
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah.
before all that.
Psychedelic.
When I was a little kid.
Let's see
Okay.
what else we got today in history. Today in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis goes public.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Kennedy gave his big speech on TV,
Oh, yeah.
let people know about the crisis unfolding
Yeah,
just south of us.
That's right.
Well, and yeah, I remember that being a very tense time at home, and my parents had the TV on all the time, and we're saying, yeah, we might have to just jump in the car and go somewhere.
Where would you go?
Like to a shelter.
Oh,
to
okay.
a civic.
Yeah. That
What do
makes
they
sense.
call them? Shelters.
Your parents weren't about building one in their basement?
No, it was too late for that. It was like this is going to happen any day
Yeah,
now.
it
We
could-
got
it could
to
be-
go to the civic. What did they used to call those? The civic something shelters. They had those
Yes.
special
Yeah,
signs.
they did.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
My school used to have one.
It was a
An
very
old school.
tense time.
But it ended happily, though.
Yes.
Fidel Castro came up to Madison, and Sacco gave him the key to the city.
Yeah,
so
that's
everything,
right.
everything was fine.
Yeah, decades later. That was not 1962, October. Yeah, Kennedy and Khrushchev worked it all out behind the scenes.
We got a text here about clowns. I had to. I think this is your neighbors.
Oh.
Well, they texted in
Oh,
yesterday,
yeah.
but I forgot what their names were. But I had to fire a clown once. He was saying really inappropriate stuff to the parents in the audience. I think he had been drinking.
Well, it's Al and Mary Lou. Thank you for that comment. I guess yeah.
That's one of the things that clowns are known for,
Well-
is saying inappropriate things at the wrong time to children or to
yes.
the parents. Not a good thing.
And in this genre, my favorite movie of all time is Bad Santa with oh no, I can't think of the actor's name. Somebody will throw it out there.
I got to meet the director of Bad Santa.
You know who-
Goldthwait had a
Oh.
movie out,
Oh, this
and that is Shakes the Clown. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember.
Shakes the
that.
Clown is one of the scariest, funniest movies ever.
Okay.
I mean, he's a crazy clown. Goldthwait is crazy
He's
all by
nuts.
himself.
He's a really good TV director.
Yeah.
Who was the star of Bad Santa? Let's see. Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob, yeah.
Okay, that was great. 29 past the hour. We've got Idiocracy right around the corner
We
at the
do.
John and Gordy Show.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
92.7 WMDX. The John and Gordy Family Show. I'm John Peterson.
John Peterson. And I'm Gordy
I got
Young.
you, man.
Okay.
All right.
It's been a while since we did that. Just thought I'd get you.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, you did, man.
I know we're going to get to Idiocracy in just a moment.
Yes.
You got a lot of stuff lined up.
Yeah, I got some stuff.
This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on the handcrafted Verlo mattress, available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com. Okay?
Okay, big recommendation. I know I can't get everybody out there to watch the movie, but Shakes the Clown, look at the trailer, at least
God.
that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Shakes the Clown. Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah.
Remember the time he came out and lit a couch on fire on the Tonight Show?
Oh, he did?
Yes, and was banned from the Tonight
Wow.
Show after that.
Yeah.
With Jay Leno.
They didn't even plan that out either.
No.
All right. Well, I've got something here this morning.
What do you
A while back, our program director, I forgot her name.
Karen?
Karen wanted us to always ask a question, question of the morning, something
Yeah.
we could ask.
Yeah, well,
And I thought, well, that's an old idea. Let's not do that.
yeah, we don't want to do that.
But I'm bringing it back this morning.
Oh,
okay.
really?
I think this is a great idea now.
Okay, since you
Catherine.
thought of it.
So
Okay.
I got the idea from Badger Stew, who posts a lot on X, and they came up with, everybody's talking about the big experience that Trump went through at McDonald's, trying to help people out, serving food
Right.
at the go window.
Yeah,
The
drive-in
place was
window.
closed. What are people at the go window for?
I don't know.
'Cause these were staffers, and they had rehearsed that.
Oh, okay.
They actually rehearsed all of this stuff that we saw clips of. Unbelievable, really bad.
He was at the fry machine making fries.
He
right?
was. He was.
He
He was
did
learning
that.
how to do it. And the amazing thing is, and I thought, well, that's an interesting way of frying French fries. Using both hands for the basket. Who needs both hands to handle a fry basket? No one. All right. I just know that from
he's
experience. That's all.
Weak.
Yeah,
He's
very
feeble.
weak.
He's feeble and weak.
Feeble and weak, and he's
Yes.
wearing that orange makeup to cover
Something.
bad colored skin, because then we know what kind of disease he had.
Hmm.
But anyway, they posted this. Badger Stew posted this. Kamala's other high school job was milking rattlesnakes.
Wait, what?
Your move, Trump. Now, of course, they're kidding, but maybe we could just get people to text in other jobs that supposedly Kamala did.
Ah.
And then, Trump can go out there and attempt to do those jobs as well.
So somebody say that Kamala milked snakes.
Milked rattlesnakes. Now, the thing
Top that.
the funny thing about this is that my mega friend in Milwaukee, I told him, he calls me all the time. He tells me what's hot in the mega world. And this is one of the big issues. One of the biggest issues for them is the fact that she never worked at McDonald's,
Yeah.
ever, never worked there. So why? Why would Trump go out and try to prove the fact that she didn't work there by working there frying French fries?
It doesn't make any sense.
None of
at
it
all.
makes any sense. So, yeah. So, again, milking rattlesnakes, that was another
Yeah.
job she had.
Sure.
So let's take other suggestions. Other jobs you might have heard Kamala had when she was in high school.
Sure. You can text us, at our number, 608-879-8255, or call us there, or use the Civic Media app. Getting a few texts today. Mark from Prairie du Sec says he's going to vote today. That's right. Today is the early voting day.
It
right?
is.
We start up today.
Yeah, they're
I think I'll
recommending.
do that as well.
They're recommending everybody get those ballots in as fast as they can. The clerk's office said that it has been hearing from voters that it can take up to 2 weeks for a ballot to get back to the office through the mail. So if you've requested an absentee ballot, get it in as soon as possible. That's what they're recommending today anyway.
Okay.
All right?
Mark had another comment here. I'm not sure. What was this about? It was from Game of Thrones. I can't quite read that.
This
Can you
was
see
his
it?
quote that he called in with.
Oh,
Arya Stark, the dancing master's sword instructor, told her, "There is one God, his name is Death, and your answer to that God is not today."
Oh, I see. That was
That's
referring
beautiful.
to my operation I
Yeah.
didn't have yesterday.
Not
'cause,
today.
Yeah, they called it off right at the last second. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for that comment, Mark.
Now we all know that Donald Trump is also against transgender operations. You know, he's saying that
that's
a kid could go to school and come back from school changed.
Because
Right?
schools are doing that
Yeah,
now
that's
all
right.
over the country.
That's the
Spending
kid-
all that money on sex change operations in schools, you'd think they'd be able to spare a little bit for Gordy's blood thinners, right?
That's right.
Yeah, boy,
they-
yeah.
so,
That's
yeah.
expensive stuff. I
Not-
could use some more.
Yeah, they don't want to pay for the lunches, but they'll pay
No.
for sex changes in K through
sure.
12.
Yeah, that's happening, right?
Well, they found this. Donald Trump's administration wrote the Department of Justice Transgender Care Manual, they did, in 2018 for prison inmates to receive gender-affirming surgery and care. This was under Trump. So every Trump accusation truly is a confession that this is something they've already done. So he can complain all he wants, but he and his administration in 2018 allowed prison inmates, and they wrote up the Transgender Care Manual in 2018 to receive gender-affirming surgery and care. So
Okay.
there,
it's- Trump was
back
ahead
at
of-
you, man.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
I mean, how wrong can you possibly be about your policies?
He doesn't know what the policy.
He doesn't know, and
Nobody's making
that's been my theory all along. Is that Project 2025 is something he will lean on because he doesn't know anything about policy. He says, "Oh yeah, that's Project 2025. Yeah, go ahead, do it."
Read that next text.
Kamala was a crash test dummy.
Did I?
Your move, Trump.
That's pretty funny. Thank you, Dan. Kamala was a crash test dummy in
yeah.
high school. Your move, Trump. That's classic. Good stuff. Thanks.
See, this is a good idea.
We have the best listeners in the world.
We
you know?
do.
Yeah.
We do.
It's great
Because we
stuff.
know they just don't give a damn.
Not anymore.
They hear this show. Oh my God! They throw up their hands and go to work. All right.
Okay, what else you got in the Idiocracy file?
Well, I got some stuff here. Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah? What?
Oh, it happens.
What do you got?
Trump claims sex change operations are happening in public schools. So here is a debate on Fox News about that very subject, and this is cut 160. Let's check that out. This is Fox News discussing transgender operations in schools.
This will be good.
Mr. President, I have a 5-year-old son that's in public schools right now. I have a lot of people asking me questions as far as the failing school systems that we have here in the Bronx. What are we
They're
going to do?
failing.
What are we going to do to improve that in our school systems?
Well, we're moving them back from Washington, where you have people that don't care about New York, frankly. You know, in Washington, I don't know if you ever noticed this, you got Department of Education. You got half the buildings are Department of Education. I never saw. You don't need any of them. You know, I want one person and a secretary
That's it.
to just make sure they're teaching English, okay?
Wow.
Give her a little English, okay? I say reading, writing, and arithmetic. No transgender, no operations. You know, they take your kid. There are some places, your boy leaves the school, comes back,
Oh my
a
God.
girl,
Wow.
okay? Without parental consent.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Right.
That's like, that's
That
when
doesn't
they talk
happen.
about a threat to democracy, they're a threat. Could you imagine without parental consent? At first, when I was told that was actually happening, I said, you know, it's an exaggeration. No, it happens. It happens. There are areas where it happens. We're not going to let it happen. But we are going to straighten out a lot. What we're going to really do, though, is give you a lot of jobs and a great economy, and you're going to be able to straighten yourselves out.
Wow.
Okay.
So there you go. I mean, that's directly from Fox News, you know, showing the most ridiculous answer to a question about what are you going to do about schools
Right.
in the world.
Ever.
I just don't get it.
That's wild. That is crazy stuff. Wild, wacky
Crazy,
stuff.
wacky, crazy
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, the
Getting
question.
more text here.
The
Kamala-
question this morning
Yeah.
is Kamala's other high school job was milking rattlesnakes in answer to having worked at McDonald's at one time, which MAGAs don't believe at all. So Trump went out there, worked at McDonald's. So now what else can Trump do? And we're taking suggestions here.
Got a couple
Other
more.
jobs that Kamala had when she was in high school.
Yeah, last two there.
All right. In law school, Kamala was a test pilot for Ocean State's submersibles. Your move, Trump.
We got another one that says Kamala spent one summer on the Bering Sea on a crap boat. Okay. I think that's
crab
Crab boat,
Crab
like,
boat.
like
I
Deadliest Catch or something like that.
I think that, yes, the Deadliest Catch. You ever watch that?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a crazy show.
It was. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
Well,
to
we're
watch.
taking your suggestions. Just pull out the old Civic Media app and
Yeah.
click the text button and give us your message.
Text
We want to
away.
hear from you, definitely.
Or you can call us at 608-879-8255.
Yeah.
Weather for today looks cool this morning, 57 right now, highs in the mid to upper 60s, and a few clouds along the way, maybe a shower here or there. We'll talk to Brittany Merlot in a little while.
I'd like to blow through this. Yesterday, you were gone, of course, and Matt Rothschild was in here
Right.
filling in. We just started on the topic of the Baldwin-Hovde debate that took place. It was a horrible format. They couldn't respond to each other.
Right.
It's just so stupid. I don't understand how broadcasters do stuff like this. This shows the problem of news media is that they have a list of questions. They want to get through that entire list of questions. They don't ask any questions about the answers that they're getting.
Right, no
They just-
follow-up.
They just let them say whatever they want to say. It's like just reading press releases, basically. And this was a perfect example of that. That was our topic yesterday. But today I want to get to some of the substance of that debate. And Hovde is a throwback. He still lives in the 80s. He has no knowledge of the ACA, Obamacare, nothing about health care. And this is a perfect example of that. This is cut 138. Let's listen to Hovde's version of health care.
I'm a believer in results. And if you look at the results, every one of those promises has failed. Cost of health care have only skyrocketed higher. Access to care has declined and declined significantly, particularly for a lot of people in our rural communities.
Yes.
And lastly, the family doctor has all but disappeared.
Oh,
the
no
only
kidding.
thing that is meaningful was the pre-existing conditions. Look, I have multiple sclerosis, so I understand the importance of that. But we need a
No, you
significant restructuring of our health care system.
No,
Thank you, Mr. Hovde.
Yeah, you don't know anything about this stuff. So anyway, the thing that, the price of health care is going up. Yes, that's
it
been happening since the beginning of time, okay? We know that already. Rural communities are losing their health care because our legislature refuses to help those rural clinics and hospitals survive. They won't help pay for it. There's got to be a solution to this, something that we can all pitch in and keep these rural communities healthy with their community clinics and hospitals. We've got to keep that going. And then, of course, just the fact that he doesn't have any clue about the Affordable Care Act, which allows people to have pre-existing conditions and be a part of the great pool of insured people.
Yes.
That brings the costs down, not putting them off into some other separate group. And now here's another part. This is Hovde wrong on abortion as well. Let's go to cut 139. All right, so this is Hovde.
And that is, I believe that women should have a right to choose early on in their pregnancy, but there comes a point in time where a baby can be born healthy and alive, and I thinks it's unconscionable to terminate that child's life.
Senator?
Eric Hovde, that does not happen
There
in
you go.
America. And it's very clear that he has never read Roe v. Wade. I'm pushing to have that be the law of the land. Your rights and freedoms should not depend on your zip code or the state in which you live. And while I said what he just said doesn't happen in America, let me tell you what is. There are healthcare providers facing the threat of prosecution. There are states with 6-week bans. There are states with no exceptions for rape and incest.
Thank you, Senator. Your time is up.
And there it is. At least she got some kind of comment in
Right.
for Hovde's misinformation.
It is 6:49. We're coming back, with a great comment from AOC
Yes.
talking about Trump and Musk
Yep.
on the John and Gordy Show.
very timely. Music to watch girls by. Was you overlook State Street?
John, the reason that I play the instrumental version is so people don't need to know the title of the song.
I know. Just even back then when that song came out, I couldn't believe.
You had to do a double take of it.
I couldn't believe the lyrics.
Oh yeah, it was over the top.
It was
Even
way
back
over the
then.
top. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
It's 6:52. This portion of the John and Gordy Show brought to you by Verlo's Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com.
Okay, we have a question this morning. Of all the jobs that Kamala had during her high school years.
It's our John and Gordy question of the day.
Yeah.
That's right. New segment.
Did you see the latest text that came in?
No. What?
One time, Kamala was a protester on a hunger strike. Your move, Trump.
Good one.
So jobs that Kamala had during high school is the question. And, of course, Trump is going to go out there and do them, too.
Yeah. He's got to.
Because he's an idiot. God.
Really lost it.
Oh, boy. He's
Last
really...
2 weeks. Just 2 weeks till the election, right? From today,
how,
right?
How much funnier can it get?
Oh, man.
Surreal.
It's just crazy.
And then we have stand-up comedian Eric Hovde out there debating Baldwin.
Yeah.
I can't believe this guy is a serious candidate as well. I don't really think he is, but, Baldwin says it's a close race. I'll believe her on that. But here's Hovde's challenge to Baldwin, how she would vote on the Real ID Act. And that's, trying to require everybody in the country to provide a birth certificate to prove they're a U.S. citizen. Let's hear it. Cut 140.
And I'll give up my time. Are you going to vote for that provision that would stop non-U.S. citizens from voting in our elections?
Mr.
Well, I'll
Hovde?
take those next 3 minutes.
All right,
It is already illegal for people who are non-citizens to vote in federal
All right.
elections.
Then your
Then why-
time is, then
then
your
why
time
wouldn't
is
you vote
up.
for it?
Because it already is the law.
And you both of your time is up. Thank you.
They won't let the people. They won't let the participants answer the question.
I know. They're getting into a little back and forth there, and they automatically stop that. That's
We
what
don't want to
debating
hear
is.
your answer.
No. That's what. Why even have a debate if you don't let that happen?
A disaster debate. And here's Hovde. This is cut 141. Will he work across the aisle? Does it sound like he's going to work across the? Well, here, let's listen to this. This is ridiculous.
When I become your next senator, I promise you, I will reach across the aisle. I'll go meet with all the senators on the other side and try to.
Thank you very much.
He'll
we don't
reach
want to hear your
across
answer.
the aisle, but he won't work across the aisle.
No, I looked for this cut. I saw Hovde being introduced by Trump at one of the rallies, and he came out there, gung-ho and everything, and he's saying, those liberals are going to, he's going to reach across the aisle.
Dream on.
Now, we're going to move into the area what we promised, a cut from AOC. And she revealed the contempt for working people that both Trump and Musk have. And she lists it right here. This is cut 159. Let's listen to this.
Donald Trump putting on a little McDonald's costume because he thinks that's what people do. They're not trying to empathize with us. They are making fun of us. They are making fun of us. Donald Trump thinks that people who work at McDonald's are a joke. Elon Musk thinks that dangling money in front of a working person is a cute thing to do when the election of our lives is before us. Because that's what people and billionaires like that do.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Drop the mic.
That is something, isn't it?
So true.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, mocking everybody.
Yeah. Steal where Elon Musk is offering $1 million every day.
Yes, every day.
If people will sign a petition about the Constitution.
They were having trouble getting $1 million a day fundraising. Now they're giving away $1 million a day. What is wrong with this? Okay, so he's doing that, and
it's not legal.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that.
And didn't Trump say something about auto workers and the job that they do, a high school student could do?
Oh. Kids
doesn't.
could do.
Yeah, a kid could do.
They
Yes,
just send the auto parts over
Yeah.
in a box, and your kid could put that
kid
together.
Put that together.
Yeah. Okay. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Does any of this
Talk
stuff
about-
sink into the voters out there who are making up their minds?
It's so
and decision?
demeaning. It's so
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. Also, and I thought this was really good because this is where life begins. This is the big question: when does life begin? And they're trying to make fertilized egg an actual person. And it's the personhood thing that they're really working on, trying to get the Supreme Court to make a decision on. But this is where life really begins. And this is a little screen capture I took from X. The Catholic Church will not baptize a full-term stillborn child that a mother gave birth to. Not only will they not baptize the baby, they will not allow the baby to have a funeral mass. The reason is that the baby never took a breath. And it is in the Bible. When he created Adam, I guess he breathed into Adam's nostrils, and Adam started breathing, and that gave him life. And I remember that passage in Sunday school. I thought, wow, that's when life begins. And it impressed me at that time. I thought, okay, that's it. That's our first. That's why that's why they call it being born, right? It's your first breath,
right?
So that's what the Catholics believe. So if we're to believe that the Catholics are against abortions, well, then it kind of flies in the face of this.
I wonder what our friend John Fugelsang would have to say about that.
That's true. I'm mangling this, but Fugelsang is fantastic on this whole subject.
Anything religious.
Yeah.
He's got that down. We'll have to do a little research on that. 6:58, coming up in our next hour. Hey, Jim Santelle is going to join us.
Yes, he is.
Get some legal advice. You're listening to 92.7 WMDX.
The John and Gordy Show.
Why are you eating on
Took a-
mic?
No one knows I'm eating on mic.
Well,
they
now
do
we-
now.
now they do.
We can hear you chewing. What do you got there? A fig bar?
Hey, look, erase your clouds.
Wow, way to
See
distract
that?
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice pink
Yeah.
cloud.
Shiny object. Yeah.
All right, this is the John and Gordy Family Show, overlooking State Street, a block away from the Capitol.
7 minutes past the hour. Let me talk for a while. 92.7 WMDX.
These fig bars are something else. Okay.
I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Thank you.
Let's get on with the show because Terry Bell has entered the studio and he's got the big story of
He
the
does.
day. Good morning, Terry.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good,
We're
good.
doing all right, but
Yeah.
some kind of tough news here.
Yeah. So the big story today, unfortunately, other than the first day of early in-person voting, which we'll get to, but the big story today, a new study has come out that finds gun violence and gun deaths in Wisconsin have been on the rise from 2018 to 2022, which is the last year that statistics are available. But in 2018, close to 600 people were killed because of guns. Guns were involved, 598 to be precise. By 2022, that number had gone up to 830. And every year in between, the number went up.
Yeah.
So
Wait, are you talking Wisconsin?
this
or
is
national?
Wisconsin.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Wisconsin
Oh
does.
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And,
It's,
and the majority are suicides.
more people, when guns are involved, more people die from suicide than homicide. And another really striking number is that more than 75% of gun deaths were with people who are black. So when you consider that the black proportion of the population is about 6 or 7%,
Yeah,
that's really staggering.
it is.
That kind of
Amazing.
number. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, now let's talk about early voting.
Yeah, so that begins today. So if you
I'm
want
registered.
to, you don't need a reason really. If you just want to vote early, you can head to your municipal clerk's office today and do that. Especially here in Madison, places like Milwaukee, I think have more opportunities, more places you can go. But certainly in a place like Madison, early voting is going to be open and accessible and easy for people. And it helps guarantee that your vote will be cast and be counted because, not everybody can make it on election day, or maybe you plan to and something comes up. So,
Well, they're
this is
asking everybody to, get their ballots in if they ask for a absentee ballot, and they're asking everybody to get in early because of possible mail delays.
Yeah, so you can return your ballot either in person or at a drop box if you don't want to take your chance to the post office. Because you're right, post office mail delivery is not as
Supposedly
reliable as
getting
it used
slower.
to be.
Yeah.
So if I don't have an absentee ballot, but I still want to do early
You
voting.
can go in.
I can go to the city county.
Yep.
Is that where it is?
I
Or
believe in
is-
Madison.
Your city
that's-
clerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your city clerk.
Okay. Good deal.
And that's what we're planning on doing.
Yeah, I want to get that
Yep.
done.
Yeah, a lot of
that-
people do.
Yeah, I don't want to have to stand in line on that election day.
Because you're special, right?
Well, I hate standing in line waiting. It's just a thing.
It's
I
the
don't
autograph
know.
thing. He's standing in
Oh,
line, autograph, Mr.
okay.
Gordy, Mr.
Yeah.
Gordy.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
All right.
All right, Terry, thank you very much
Thanks,
for that.
guys.
I hope you have a good day.
You too.
Regardless of what has just transpired in the last few
kidding,
minutes. So we apologize.
We embarrass him.
Terry.
we try to hold off, but it doesn't
Terry,
last
we
long.
love you, Terry.
I love you guys.
Okay. He seems mad again. I know.
All right.
It's you. Why do you do that? Jeez. You're such a nice guy.
I know. I just can't let go.
You just.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, geez. I don't know anymore. I really don't.
Coming up in a little while, we're going to talk to Jim Santelle about some legal stuff, right?
Yes, we're going to talk legal.
About the voting and
a lot
maybe
of stuff.
all the things that are set up, that Trump has set up to object to the voting, that whatever state, whatever precinct. I mean, they've got lawyers all across the country. They're ready to
and the status of all the legal questions that Trump is going through right now. We'll get some definitive words on that from Jim. Okay, so anyway, let's get to Vice President Kamala Harris. She's made some comments, and she's made some comments about Project 2025. And I just want to mention here that we'll be reviewing Project 2025 in the coming days here, and we'll do what we did, maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, and take a look at every aspect of Project 2025. But right now, this is Kamala and her comment 163. Let's play it.
But Donald Trump is offering something very different, including what he's talking about in Project 2025. And I'll tell you, from the biggest rallies I do to church services, people know what's in Project 2025. Right. They know that it would allow corporations to basically stop protecting the right of workers to have overtime pay. What it would do to take away the independence of the Department of Justice. And as we know, he intends to use it to attack his political enemies. People are very concerned by what Project 2025 would do, which is to get rid of public servants who have dedicated their lives to doing public service and instead putting loyalists in these various agencies so that he can have them bend to his will instead of do the work that is in the public trust.
And that's what I'm saying as well. I believe that he's going to have a lot of people in his administration, if he does win, who have written Project 2025. And because he isn't a real scholar on policy, he is going to default to the people who say, well, we have a policy written already on that. And he'll go, okay, go with that one. And he won't care, because all he cares about is admiration. People just admiring him and his wonderfulness in public.
That's it.
It is so egregious. I did bring in a clip. This is cut 165, where he just stood out on stage for 16 minutes. Did you see this?
No, I'm just looking at the title of the clip where he just stands on stage and walks around for 16 minutes.
He
What's
did.
that all
He
about?
did this again?
He just stood there on the stage, walking back and forth, looking at the crowd, waiting for them to come up with the next chant. This is basically what. Let's just play this, and maybe we'll cut in and out throughout the show. This for 16 minutes. Let's check this out. This is the sound. He's just standing there, waiting for them to do this. Not a word.
That's it.
Now he's walking across the stage. Kind of a lull in the crowd at this point. Just kind of staring out at him. Let's see what happens next. There you go.
What are they yelling? Do you know?
We want Trump.
We want Trump.
We want Trump.
We love Trump.
And he's just walking back and forth on the stage, not saying a word. Yep, 16 minutes worth of this.
16 minutes of your life you'll never get back.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this one. This is surreal.
Maybe he's gone to just paying the teleprompter operator by the hour, and then he says, clock out for the next 15 minutes.
Wow.
I have to pay you.
That's
Take your
just
lunch break.
So, yeah, take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our question this morning basically is Kamala's other high school jobs. What were her jobs? And that's a challenge to Trump. He's got to go out there and do those jobs, just like he did with the McDonald's job.
Right.
That Kamala had, that the MAGAs say she never did, but he went out there to prove that it's easy to make French fries, by the way, with two hands.
With the fryer.
In the fryer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just ridiculous stuff. And there, by the way, there are great AI videos of Trump doing this job and botching it badly. All right. So anyway, let's get to. I think it has something to do with pay at these fast food restaurants, and McDonald's has fairly high pay, but it's not horrible or anything like that. But he came out and he had a comment about the raises that took place during his administration and how much the wages are at McDonald's. Let's check this out.
Minimum wage should be raised.
Well, I think these people work hard. They're great. And I just saw a process that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises and produce a lot of jobs, and it's great. And great people working here, too.
But minimum wage is recently
really
increased.
They all chimed in. They got really mad.
The thing is, McDonald's jobs for kids in high school and college, great jobs to get,
right?
Because they learn organization, they learn how to work, teamwork, and they really learn a lot as far as customer interaction, how to do it, and McDonald's Corporation's been doing this for years, and some people really latch onto those jobs and they go right up the line and become assistant managers. Sometimes they become owners and start buying their own franchises, and it's a good job. But he's kind of mocking it.
Yeah, he's mocking it, and the crowd said, "Wait a minute, what about the low-paying jobs elsewhere?"
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe somebody can help us out. Text us a little help on this. Yeah. MAGAs, for as long as I can remember, at least since 2016, have been against raising the minimum wage.
Right.
And they don't want the minimum wage raised because it'll raise the price of food. Now, they're bragging that during the Trump administration, wages went up. It was because of Trump, wages went up. No, it wasn't. It was the liberal states and liberal communities and cities that raised the minimum wages up that did raise the minimum wage and raises wages all across the U.S.
Exactly.
So that, and what they have it one way. They don't want to raise the minimum wage. And then they brag about the wages going up during the Trump administration.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, explain it to me.
Yeah. 18 past the hour. Coming up next, we'll talk to Brittany Merlot, get the latest on the weather on the John and Gordy Show, 92.7 WMDX.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Brittany.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Gordy's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Got right up to the operating table, and then they changed their minds.
They changed their minds. Yeah, he had the mask on and everything. He was going
Ready
out.
to go. They're ready to go.
He was checking out, and all of a
Everybody
sudden they stopped.
You're like, can I still go to sleep?
Yeah, still give me some gas for a while and float away for a few minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well. Got the AFib.
Yeah, that's right. AFib.
Atrial.
Yeah.
Atrial fibrillation.
Yeah, it's a hard word. They just call it AFib in the business. So we're going to do interplanetary weather. Pick a planet or a star or something. Pick a
What's
asteroid.
the planet that we're by? I think you can see Jupiter. No, wait. Yeah, I think Jupiter is visible right now. Should we talk about Jupiter?
Let's go with that.
It's the biggest. I should hope you can see it.
How many moons does Jupiter have? Like a dozen?
Oh, no.
8
really?
seconds.
Okay.
Maybe MDX.
Love these little discussions you and I have during the commercial break.
We do have them, and someday we'll expand on those ideas. We'll forget whatever we were talking about. It was phenomenal, and we will forget all about it by the end of this discussion.
Right. It's 7:21. Time for us to check the weather with Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good.
Oh, we're great. What's happening in Wausau, where you are right now? What's the weather? Wausau. What's the Wausau weather?
Oh man, the sun's just coming up. We've got kind of a lot of cloud cover out here this morning, and temperature's pretty mild. It's not too bad just yet. We are going to get a little breezy here this afternoon, and of course, you're looking at some rain. I might not get it up here this far north just yet, but this morning and afternoon, you can see a few sprinkles out there, but not much with it. Just a trace expected. We need a whole bunch more. I'm hoping Thursday night and into Friday, we could get maybe a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch. So my fingers are crossed for that, but otherwise, those winds are switching tonight, and they're going to be blasting us with colder air overnight. So tomorrow's highs are going to be a shock to the system in the mid-50s.
Wait a minute, how windy is it going to get? Do I need to take down the gazebo yet?
35 mile per hour. What do you think?
Oh,
I think it's withstood that already.
it has. Okay.
Close call.
I'm gonna leave it up for now, I think.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And
Is
then
40 going to be the threshold?
What's that?
You think 40 mile per hour will be the threshold?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. So looking down the road here for the weekend, how's that shaping up?
The weekend, not too bad at all, actually. Temperatures kind of seasonal in those 60s and a lot of sunshine out there. So weekend looks phenomenal.
Okay. Do we have time for interplanetary weather today? Have you dialed up a planet for us to focus in on?
Yes, absolutely. So I was thinking you could see Jupiter, right? It's right there by the moon. So let's talk about Jupiter because boy, is it warm.
What's the expected high temperature in Jupiter today? What are we looking at?
In Fahrenheit, 2,422 degrees.
Wow.
That seems a little toasty.
Yeah. That just seems a little hot. You know?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how warm their atmosphere is. Isn't that crazy?
How about the low temperature? Do they have that?
Oh, I didn't look at my low temperature.
You didn't look at the national
No, I didn't.
meteorological outlook for
I know
Jupiter?
I know one thing.
Don't
A
they have
fan
that?
is not going to help.
No, it's
No.
like molten lava.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just
Okay.
throwing molten lava in the air.
All right. Well, thanks for that look at interplanetary weather.
Yeah.
Interplanetary weather.
It's the only station in the country with interplanetary weather.
It
Right here,
is.
Gotta love
WMDX.
it.
Thanks to Brittany Merlot. All right,
Thanks,
Brittany.
guys.
All right.
You're the
Anything
best.
else you want to talk about this morning? Anything on your
Any
mind?
problems?
You got any issues?
Aw.
Any beefs that you have?
Well,
Yeah.
since we're talking, no, I'm just kidding. We're good. We're good.
All right. Well, if you have any problems, just bring it out here
Yeah.
on the air.
Okay.
We'll
What
talk
is, I was
about
going
it.
to say, what is this? Is this like the psychologist stand in Charlie Brown where you got to pay a nickel and then Lucy gives you bad advice?
There
That's
you
it.
go. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Good
it.
one, Sam.
But it's free here.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Brittany.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you tomorrow. That's
All right.
Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Available on Madison's east and west side or online at verlo.com. Got some comments?
Yeah,
here?
we've got a few comments here. We were
What do we
talking
got?
about going to the city clerk and voting early. Someone texted in and said locations to vote are all over town. You don't have to go to the city building for it. And there is a place you can go. It's cityofmadison.com to check out a location near you. Now, we have some other
That's from my
comments
neighbors.
here.
Thank you for that.
In high school, Kamala was a teacher's aide in the chem lab. She transported mercury around in her mouth. Your move, Trump.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it here on the show
What's
that
that?
when we were kids
Yeah.
in grade school, we used to play with mercury.
Sure. I don't know why.
They had vials of mercury and they dump it out on a tabletop.
Just to see it roll around.
Yeah, you rolled it
was
around.
like, watch that.
I played around with it once when I was a kid just because I wanted to see what it was like to like hold liquid metal, but then my parents took it away from me.
Well, yeah, it's not good for you.
I know, yeah.
I think it could be toxic, if you touch it.
Could be. It is, yes. No doubt about it.
And then we'd lose it, of course. It'd roll onto the floor and break up in a million little beads. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can vacuum it up.
Well,
No?
But then you'd be breathing whatever it is
Oh, boy.
in your canister. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a good idea.
That would be a horrible idea. Hey, okay, we've been talking about, Trump doing the McDonald's thing.
Right.
Staged event, people picking up at the go window and all that stuff. But somebody on X put together their own version of this with their own impression of Trump. And I just thought you'd love to hear this. This is cut 166.
Okay.
And it's done well, but it's it's something, we can only dream of.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?
Yeah, can I get a 20-piece chicken nuggets?
Well, I can give you some French fries. They're the best fries. Nobody makes fries like these. You're gonna love them.
I don't really want fries. Can I get
I
just
made these fries, and everybody says, "Oh, these are the best fries we've ever had."
Okay.
These are the best fries. No one makes fries like you.
I really just want a chicken sandwich. Can I?
Kamala never makes fries like this. She doesn't know how. Only I know how. You're gonna have to try these fries. You'll love them.
Well, can I maybe speak to the manager or somebody? Is there someone else I could talk?
You want to speak to the manager? How about this? How about we just listen to some music? You want to listen to some music? Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah.
And there you go.
God.
Probably.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's good. It's good. And then, of course, all the videos that you can see on X now where he's a disaster in the kitchen. Just to say, yeah, it's great stuff.
They're having fun with AI.
Yeah, AI is finally, coming into its own.
Yes.
Although the bad thing is we have a crazy guy like Trump using AI to deceive a lot of people with fake ads and fake situations. And they're just flooding the airwaves with this stuff. It's wrong, and they have to disclose it, I thought, anyway. I thought there was a law that they have to disclose this. Maybe it's a statewide law as opposed to a federal law.
Maybe so. I think they're supposed to disclose it. Yeah,
that's what I
put
thought.
some kind of disclaimer on these.
But they're not. They're just putting this stuff, they're churning it up.
It's the Wild West. It is 7:29. Coming up next, waiting in the wings here, we have Jim Santelle. We're going to get some legality device, right? Something like, what am I trying to say, Sam? I don't know, but we're coming back with more of the John and Gordy Show. We're talking legal on 92.7 WMDX.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Morning.
Gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Oh, again, there you go.
Yeah.
Dan, how are you?
My mic on. There you go. What happened to your hair there, Jim?
You know, I just went outside and it was windy, and now I'm thinking, what just happened here? So it's radio, but I realize it's raining as well. So maybe
Well,
I'll.
How many viewers do we have on X today, Sam?
3.
Oh
right,
no!
Right now, at least.
Oh, jeez! You're breaking my heart.
Maybe they think that Gordy is still going to be gone, and that's why.
That's why. Let's see here. We got a docket. It's called Democracy Docket. Do you get that at all, Jim?
It's like a newsletter you get in your email, right?
It's Mark Elias. He does the voting stuff. So he comes out with it's a newsletter he has out there, democracydocket.com. And I get it into my emails here. I didn't subscribe to it, but, I guess it's Civic Media doing their thing. But, a lot of stuff there. I want to get to yours, though. All right. We're going to be starting to take a look at Project 2025, I think tomorrow, if I can just get my act together. So we'll be taking a look at that. And you have some things you want to talk about? Can you talk about something like, I thought it was Schedule F, right?
Right. So, it might be a good thing Sam and I chat about this and we're together on Saturday. I can give you some, it's not heavy in legal stuff, but just some analysis of where this comes from. It's a thing called the unitary executive theory.
Yes.
It basically says we don't have separate branches of government. You've got this all-powerful president. And Donald Trump quoted as saying in 2019, I have an Article 2 constitutional right to do whatever I want as president. That's kind of where it begins. And then we can chat about, I think the two big things are, one is this Schedule F, which contemplates basically the dissolution of the civil service, which means all kinds of civil servants, longtime employees would be either fired or required to take presumably oaths of loyalty, if you will. And then there are also, portions of it has to do with changing the Department of Justice and now that connection between the president. So those are the two big things I think that have kind of this legal aspect. Many other parts of it, of course, but this unitary executive theory is where it comes from. It started way back in the Reagan administration, believe it or not. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and the Republicans have been on this for a long, long time. They want this to happen. I love it. This is a big picture stuff I love to look at. So perfect. This is just what we should get into. All right, let's do it.
Sounds great.
But without the guardrails, for the president anymore, the unitary executive is certainly unchained at this point.
And the other part of this that's also, we in previous broadcasts we've talked about this. Yeah, I know all three of you have been very focused on this Chevron doctrine, the idea we're no longer.
Yes.
It's really tied into that as well. It's basically saying, that the Congress has no authority to legislate for agencies. The president has complete control over every agency out there. And so even though the Chevron's all about the courts, this is also kind of a variation on that basically
That's a good point.
Agencies do not have the authority to act.
Right. So the president can act instead. And then the courts can't do anything.
Unitaries can tell the agencies whatever he wants to. And that's never been the way it's been put together.
Wow, this is great stuff. All right.
Okay, I'm going to let you carry this segment.
What?
Okay. I want to let you carry this segment.
Okay. Well, you could take a time.
Well, I'm a little shaky. I don't know why.
Really?
It's probably just, I don't know.
All right.
The caffeine withdrawal or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll be here. I'm just not going to participate much.
All right.
As usual. In fact, everything's as usual.
All right. We're going to do that.
I just started getting
10
lightheaded
seconds.
completely.
Stephanie Miller here. These guys drive me crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy. John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX Madison.
And a good morning to everyone out there.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie, for those kind words. I think.
Well, yeah. Well, I think she took them back after we had to record those. So.
It is 7:34. Weather today, it looks okay. Some clouds moving in, highs in the low to mid 60s.
Yeah.
This afternoon, right now 58 degrees here.
All right. We've got Jim Santelle with us this morning, as we do each and every month.
Yes.
Something like that.
Well, it's not often enough as far as I'm concerned. We love to take a look at the law and the big picture when it comes to the Constitution, laws that are being passed out there, and new decisions from the Supreme Court. All of these things have worked together to work against us as a country at this point. And Jim is going to bring up something. It's called the unitary executive, and this has been kicked around by the Republican Party for ages, for decades.
What is that?
And what it means is that the president has ultimate power, right, Jim? Well, why don't you define it? Let's get into the legal aspect of it.
Right. That's exactly right. Good to see all of you, Gordy and John and Sam as well. And to talk about this again, packaged most recently under Project 2025, which has been around there for about a year. But as you just indicated completely accurately, this is actually a product of the Reagan administration when they were trying to advance sort of a deregulatory agenda. That is, no more restrictions, no regulations, and that the president himself, maybe one day herself, has all this incredible authority to do whatever he or she wants to do. And it really is contrary to the fundamental notions of our Constitution, which, of course, established 3 separate branches of government. We all know that as a part of our civics instruction, overlapping powers, checks and balances. And the theory, again, is that Article 2, which is the executive branch of the Constitution, gives the president this complete power over all these agencies. Congress cannot do anything, can't empower the heads of agencies to make decisions. And the president also has the complete ability to hire and fire the agency heads. For what it's worth, it prompted Donald Trump way back in 2019 in typical Trumpian syntax and language here. He was talking about the Mueller investigation and firing people there. He said, I have an Article 2. I think he meant I have an Article 2 power, but that's not how he talks, of course.
Right.
He said, I have an Article 2 where I have the right to do whatever I want as president. That's shades of Richard Nixon, right? Talking to David Frost years ago, saying just by virtue of the fact the president does it, says it, it's constitutional, it's legal. Donald Trump re-articulating that right now.
The whole idea of the unitary executive is kind of crazy. It seems in odds with the intent of the founding fathers to have a checks and balances type of system if you have a unitary executive. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. The people who are advancing this, I think, properly gather the description of being crazy. And to your very good point, that was the whole notion, obviously, when our country was started 283 years ago, that you do have a government that's dispersed over a number of different entities and branches of government, lots and lots of ways to check and balance all those kinds of things. It is not only an attempt to rein in authority, but as we have also talked before on this wonderful broadcast, it's also, if you think about it, a variation once again on the Supreme Court's decision under that removal of the Chevron doctrine, no longer saying that agencies can make decisions. This is kind of an executive branch grab on that, saying we don't trust any of those people who are in our agencies, who know what they're talking about, the experts. I'm going to make all of those decisions. I've got the complete authority, and I will exercise it. So it's a variation of that. And of course, it also goes back to the immunity decision, where the Supreme Court starts with this notion that we've got an executive branch that is incredibly powerful. It's got to be nimble, got to be muscular to be able to do its job. And therefore, all these other entanglements like checks and balances, and oh, by the way, the possibility of being prosecuted for your criminal conduct in office, we can't have that, the Supreme Court says, because that would be contrary to this very strong, powerful executive, this president, who, again, in the words of Donald Trump and Richard Nixon, can do whatever he wants. It is so antithetical to everything that we've thought about, and yet he's got, under the present structures, some authorities to implement this if we elect him as our next president and swear him in January of next year.
There is this supposed idea on the right that liberals want to become super powerful. They want to become the unitary executive, that they want to take over and control everything and tell people how to live from birth to death. But in reality, the conservatives have always had an authoritarian edge to them. They've always wanted to take over and have that total control. And we, with the decision, what is it?
Chevron?
The immunity doctrine.
The immunity doctrine, basically. Okay. That just kind of threw everything away. And now he can make whatever decision he wants, can't be challenged in a court. And so he can, he can overrule courts. He can overrule his own administration. He can do anything he wants at this point. This is a very scary thing. And one of the things that is even more surprising, we have a Democrat as a president who nothing's changed. We haven't seen anything happen. He's not going to take advantage of this. If it's Kamala, she's not going to take advantage of this. Only one party is going to utilize this idea of a unitary executive. And that's the dangerous part.
Exactly. And as you've said on this broadcast, other places, this is not the three of us, four of us sitting around pontificating on a Tuesday morning about what we think might happen.
Right.
This is a published document. The presidential candidate, Donald Trump, has said this repeatedly for many years. You don't have to rely upon us. Just go to what is reported, not just reliably, but with certainty about their intentions here. And, to your other good point about the difference between Democrats and Republicans, the Democrats take the view and advance the view under our structure, which is, let's have an election. Let's elect people who are going to represent us. If the majority view is X as opposed to Y, that's what we should do in America. And obviously there's advocacy for what X is and Y is, but it's a process that's contemplated by, again, 240 years of our history. The difference here is that this concept, Project 2025 and unitary executive theory, all this says, no, we're not going to do any of that representative democracy, that republic stuff. Instead, we're just going to make the changes that we want to make according to how we feel it should be. We're not going to rely upon the people. We're not going to rely upon those branches of government to do this. We're going to restrict this and consolidate all of this into one incredibly powerful presidency that, again, James Madison would never recognize today if he were here.
No, absolutely not. Well, that's the problem that they put in place, and we're very worried about it. And the reason why of course, we don't want to see Trump elected because he will take full advantage of it, especially after all the threats now that he's given against media sources, taking away licenses for CBS, ABC, NBC. He just wants to go after anybody who disagrees with him and pull their licenses. And I truly believe that's what he believes.
Right. And again, under this theory, the president can wake up one morning or get up in the middle of the night, as Donald Trump sometimes does, and say, you know what, that FCC, I need to rein that in. There's concern actually about the Federal Reserve, believe it or not, and making decisions independently. The Federal Reserve, of course, setting interest rates, doing many other things with respect to banking and finances in America, wakes up and says, you know what, I'm going to pull some authority there. Here's what I'm going to do to, again, set things in the financial arena, which, again, are far beyond my expertise. I believe they're far, far beyond Donald Trump's expertise to do. It really has all these tendrils out there. One of the other ones that I know we've talked about is something that kind of went under the radar at the end of the last term. Donald Trump, as a part of his, again, indicating that he's not only saying these things, he plans to do it. He signed off on something called Schedule F. And it sounds like something, again, out of a Jean Le Carré novel or something else like that.
Yeah.
But it really is, it's real. It was rescinded almost immediately by the Biden administration. But basically, it would remove employment protections from career officials whose jobs were deemed linked to policymaking in any way. In other words, almost getting rid of the civil servants. For all of your listeners out there, many of whom I'm sure are state and local and government civil servants who do these things without partisan authority, without partisan support or animation at all. He's talking about getting rid of anybody inside the federal government who, again, those people who know what they're doing once again, and substituting for them people who are allegiant to him and his political view, and therefore implementing his view of what should happen in the agencies that should be, by their very nature, making decisions of a non-political, non-partisan nature. It's called Schedule F. He signed it. He intended to put into place in this last weeks of his presidency, 2020 and 2021. And thankfully, we put Joe Biden in there and rescinded that. Has a huge impact too. Every indication he would dig that up again. Don't have to dig very far. It's right there on the shelf, if you will. Put Schedule F in place, changing dramatically, again, the way that our agencies work and the way that your listeners interact with federal agencies. No longer apolitical, but just, gee, I'm going to have to check with the White House on whether or not I can grant your HUD loan or engage in HHS activities, healthcare activities, small business things. all kinds of things out there, turning that process, which has never been political, into a political partisan enterprise. Stunning.
Right. Instead of an administrative process, something that's already written in the books, they can make a decision on their own. They can just ad lib. It'd be a partisan decision that they would make via your request.
Right. And again, to the extent that people think, well, gee, that sounds awfully wonky, Santelle. That's that's just a lawyer talking and all those kinds of executive orders. Executive orders can accomplish a lot. And this sort of gets into another topic, which is Donald Trump can indeed do many of these things and get a lot of this accomplished in a second term of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always been about getting rid of the bureaucrats in the government with something like that. It's 7:46. Talking to Jim Santelle, our legal advisor. Jim, I'm wondering about what Trump and his folks, his lawyers, have set for after Election Day. Let's just assume that maybe the election hasn't been settled, or maybe Kamala Harris has an overwhelming lead and has won, with a landslide. What kind of things do we know about that his lawyers have been up to, ready to put, throw some obstacles to Election Day?
I think your question is such a good one because, of course, we're all concentrating on what's going to happen 2 weeks from today, and that's appropriate. We'd like to think, as in past elections, that maybe on Tuesday night at the very latest, last time we had to wait a little bit into Wednesday later in the week to get final results in, but anticipating that the election means something, right, in America, and that's true of November 5th of 2024. We're anticipating that will be the resolution. That's how we go about dealing with presidential elections and other elections, federal, state, local referendums. We've got those in Wisconsin as well. The concern which animates your question is, all right, this other articulated view, as we saw in the recent releases from Jack Smith, these are people, including Steve Bannon, including the President of the United States of America, who again in 2020, after the election, was clearly in favor of Joe Biden, says, we know he won. It doesn't matter. We're simply going to say that Donald Trump won. We're going to do everything we can, as they did, 60 different cases, all kinds of legislative engagements to try to reverse what happened. And anticipating, again, that there will be either a very close race here, or even if it's a dispositive Kamala win in a couple of weeks, that is not going to be the end of this. There are lawyers, as you said, who are in waiting. There are lawyers on both sides waiting to run into courts if necessary to enforce what the people have done in terms of voting. That's appropriate. But lawyers are going to, as a lot of people say, 2020, 2021, that was just the rehearsal. This is going to be a full-fledged effort to overturn whatever the result is if Donald Trump is not happy with it in the courts and beyond.
All right, Jim, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back with more.
What else do we want to get into?
And so the other thing, again, the same category is if you wanted to chat a little bit more about the Justice Department in particular, what Donald Trump, so you take these principles, you've got executive theory, very strong presidency. What is his specific plan for the Justice Department, right? Mm-hmm. And what can he do? There are about 3 or 4 different things that he can accomplish, again, especially with a cooperative Congress, that will change dramatically how the Justice Department works in America and works here in Wisconsin. And I think that's the other permutation of Project 2020. It's in there as well. It's a part of that.
We'll get to focus. Let's get to the Justice Department issue. I want to ask you before we go on the air, if this does get jumbled up and there aren't any decisions, this is supposed to go to the House of Representatives for the decision on who will be president. I believe I just heard yesterday that this is for the next Congress.
Yes.
Not for the current.
That is correct.
Let's bring that up. Let's bring that up.
Yep.
Okay.
Very important. And again, to get a little wonky, this is the 12th Amendment stuff here. So, and it's successful. It's understandable. It's if both of them get 269 votes, and there's a stalemate basically. Nobody gets 270. Then it goes to Congress, and it is the new Congress that we will elect in 2 weeks from now.
There you go. Yep,
that.
sum that up when we go back on. I wanted to make that point. Ready to go back on?
In 25 seconds.
All right. And then if we have time, maybe some of the important, really super important cases, Supreme Court is going to take a look at this session.
Absolutely. just that, yeah.
.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy Early Morning Family Show.
Good morning to you. Good weather today. High around 67. Some clouds moving in, maybe some sprinkles or showers later on. Right now, 59 degrees.
We're talking to Jim Santelle from Amicus, a law review. You can listen to his program on Saturday, 9 to 11 in the morning. And let's continue with the thought of maybe the election will be called into question. It'll be so gummed up that we'll have to send it to the House of Representatives to make the decision and pick the next president. Tell us about that process.
Sure. As we were talking right before the break, one of the specters, the ghost that's out there is, let's assume that Kamala does get 270 electoral votes or more than that, and she plainly wins and the states certify. Or here's one of the issues. If you've got states out there where you've got a governor who will not certify, right? How does that work, right? If a governor refuses to send those votes in, right? We got another version of kind of the fake electoral. So you've got that theory, and just gumming up the system through processes and going into court. There's the second specter, which again is much less likely, but nonetheless it's out there, and there are some mathematical ways to get to this. If neither one of them gets 270 electoral votes, that's the magic number. We'll all be looking at that in a couple of weeks from right now. There's a way that both of them, believe it or not, could end up with 269, just one short, right? You can see that you're talking about this Nebraska district, for example. That could be a real dispositive issue. So that could happen. What happens if the Electoral College, the normal process, not this other stuff that the Trump lawyers might do, what if that legitimately comes to a mathematical tie? Well, then that's when we've got the 12th Amendment, which I know that 2 and 3 of you always talk about every single morning when you get up, pondering what the 12th Amendment would say, right? So the 12th Amendment basically says exactly what you just articulated, which is a tie goes into the House to elect the president, believe it or not, goes into the Senate to elect the vice president. And what happens there, and the reason why that is so interesting and again speculative here, but nonetheless interesting, is that every single delegation by state would vote. This is not a matter of 435 members of Congress voting for the president. It's Wisconsin's delegation votes, and Illinois votes, and California votes, and Texas vote. Each one of them gets one vote. Well, we know that across the country, the delegations are heavily weighed in favor of the Republicans. There are more overall state delegations of Republican ilk than there are Democrats. And so, for example, Wisconsin might well vote, not as a block. There would certainly be those representatives here, and Milwaukee and Madison would vote against this, but Wisconsin casts one vote for Donald Trump. You've got somewhere between like 26 to 29 Republican states that would vote in favor of Donald Trump. And then also you get this further complication under the amendment that says the vice president, what were they thinking, right, goes into the Senate, and there it is, every single senator, there you do get one vote. Well, again, depending upon who gets elected to the Senate this time around, you could get 50-50, 51-49, and each one of them votes on who the vice president is. And again, we'd like to think we're not going to be doing that, but but there is a non-frivolous way of getting to that result that our founding, or at least the folks who passed the 12th Amendment and some other things that followed that, contemplated if there really is an electoral college tie. Unlikely it'll happen, but it's important to know about as we think about the numbers here and watch those numbers tick up on Tuesday in a couple of weeks from now.
So what you're saying then, even if this gets gummed up, it's not going to the House right away. It's just it has to be a tie to go to the House for that decision, right?
That's correct, right? And
right.
Kamala gets 270 votes and electoral votes, and Donald Trump gets 268. She wins. She wins. And if the states certify that, again, I'd like to say game over. We used to be able to say that was game over. But that's when, again, as you two of you indicated, that's when, of course, people will say, well, a voter fraud in all these places. We get a new incarnation of Rudy Giuliani's out there who run around the country saying, no, 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 no. But there are people in Wisconsin, people in California, people in Texas who didn't get to vote. Throw the results out, order a new vote, federal judge, and rescind all this. You'll get petitions again, the new laws that the governors, as opposed to the legislatures, they now certify. There was an attempt to get around the fake elector scheme. Now you've got governors. Well, what if a governor who happens to be allegiant to Donald Trump says, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to certify, and simply refuses to do that. What do you do then? Can you compel a governor to certify, to go into court and compel a governor to do that? We've just never had to do this kind of thing where people in positions of responsibility, wherever their partisan view may be, simply don't act as a way of accomplishing their political goals. That's the greater specter. That's the greater concern that I think we all have in the wake of what happens in 2 weeks from now.
All right, you've scared me.
It's Halloween. It's almost Halloween, right?
I'm throwing up my hands. If we only have about a minute and a half, could you just maybe talk about a few of the very important areas that the Supreme Court is going to deal with this session?
Sure. One of the big cases that has not been argued has to do with transgender rights. I think it's going to be the big case. It has to do with whether or not about 20 different states passed legislation that prohibits the provision of medical care to youth, to minors, things like puberty blockers and other things that have been a traditional part of our medical treatment.
Right.
Prohibiting that, is that constitutional? The same issue having to do with academics, Title IX. Do our members of our transgender population, do they benefit from the same way that others benefit under Title IX? Those issues coming up before the Supreme Court, all kinds of other stuff pending right now.
Jim Santelle, thank you for being with us.
We wish you could be here constantly, every day, at our whim.
Amicus, call, I'm here.
Amicus, a law review, Saturday mornings, 9 to 11 o'clock. Thank you, Jim Santelle.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Take care.
Thank you, Jim. That's going to do it for the John and Gordy Show tomorrow. Mike McCabe will be our guest. Stephanie Miller is coming up next. We hope you have a great day. Yep. So long from John and Gordy.
Yeah.
Ready to go have
I think I get
breakfast beer?
Yeah, that would be great.